Welcome to episode number 14, college football recap. We're back with another week. It's week 3, but technically we've done 4 weeks of recapping because it's week 0. Mr. Bragg, welcome to the Out of Bounds podcast.
Hello.
Been a busy week for you, man. Not much college football watching this weekend.
No,
For you.
too busy.
I spent my whole Saturday waiting on Clemson to play and watching Syracuse play, so you could see where I could be a little tired.
Right.
That was
Yeah.
very wrenching performance by Purdue and Syracuse. It was a good game though, and it lived up to the hype, that we hyped it up to be.
There was no hype. No one cares.
Well, Syracuse is up to 3-0 now. I want to give them. They're better than your favorite team. I'm just playing. But Syracuse is 3-0. Duke is 3-0. Kansas is 3-0. Let that sink in for a little bit.
You think this is college basketball?
You would think this is college basketball. And Kentucky. Kentucky's 3-0.
And Syracuse.
And North Carolina.
And North. Dude, it's like reverse roles.
It is.
We're just gonna be good at basketball, or wait? No, probably not.
They're all gonna stink at basketball this year, which stinks for their basketball fans.
Who's gonna be good though? Wait, who is like trash that's supposed to be good
in basketball?
In football?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. They might Final Four.
Might be a Final Four year for Notre Dame. Can we see a reverse type of thing and Georgia's basketball team actually be good this year because of this?
But we're good at football too, so I don't think it'll work like that.
Hey, it may. You never know.
I hope.
But like I said, it wasn't as crazy of a weekend as we had. We almost had a top 10 upset. Arkansas like to have went down to Missouri State.
Yeah.
We had some unranked Power 5 teams lose to Group of 5 teams, which is disappointing in ways like Kansas State, because I really feel like Kansas State had a pretty good team this year, and then you lose to Tulane, and then you kind of just ruin it all.
Yeah, but if they won this week, they would have been ranked.
They would have. One thing, ACC has 7 3-0 teams. What in the heck is going on there?
That's sad. Not at all.
That is weird. I think the SEC may have 7 as well. I'm not 100% on that. Maybe 6.
Maybe 6.
I think it's 6. Arkansas, Kentucky, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee.
You want to get into it?
Yeah, let's just get into it. We'll just go over the pick 'em, the ones that we picked, and then we'll talk about the ones we didn't pick that we should have, obviously. Houston at Texas. Oh, crap, that's last week. Sorry, guys. Miami at Texas A&M. Mr. Bragg went with the Hurricanes. I went with A&M. Didn't feel like they would lose back-to-back weeks, and they did not. They held on at the end for a boring 17-9.
I'm sorry. We have to dive into this since it was like the biggest matchup of the week. They're both bad.
They're both bad.
Defensively, they're both solid, but the offenses are terrible.
The offenses are awful, and I felt like that going in.
A&M had a quarterback change, and it didn't change anything. You could have told me Haynes King was still in the game. I would have been like, oh yeah, right.
Yeah,
but
it's very disappointing to watch 2 teams like this with the talent. I feel like Miami is not as disappointing as A&M solely because Miami is on their way back up.
Yeah, A&M came in ranked at 6th.
They're supposed to be a top 10 team. I don't care about this win. You're at home. You're playing a rebuilding program, and you win a game. Congratulations. But in all reality, you won 17-9. And guess who's coming up? Arkansas, Alabama. Who else do they play? Ole Miss, Mississippi State.
Yep.
Even though Mississippi State was disappointing this week. But you better get ready because A&M fans, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're not going to win out because you're probably not. You're probably going to lose 3 more games.
They have Arkansas next. Arkansas, Mississippi State, Alabama. Then they get South Carolina, then Ole Miss and Florida back to back, and after that it's just kind of Auburn, UMass, and LSU. So,
well, I will say this: I think watching Arkansas this week. First off, I don't think Arkansas is the top 10 team. I will put that out there. Which is I've seen a lot of people say that.
We said that before last week, though.
Yeah, we did. They're ranked too high. They are, and I do think that A&M will get Arkansas. Hot take this week. That's to my predictions. I do think A&M will get Arkansas this week. Is it at A&M?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll get that one because Arkansas is not going undefeated, and they're not going to go 11-1 either. I would see 10-2. I could see a 10-2 Arkansas team this year, but we'll get into that. That Miami and A&M game was played at 9:00 at night. It was very boring, no scoring. I mean, I don't know many people that really probably got into this game at all. A&M plays a boring brand of football. I don't know if you watch Josh Pate. He has his own show on YouTube.
No.
Really do what?
I've heard of him.
He's really good. And listening to him, he really, really bashed Jimbo's offense. He said, imagine – what did he say? Anyway, he described it as imagine being stuck in 2015 or 2014. And he said that's what Jimbo's offense is. And he's not willing to change it. And that's why A&M can – he's not willing to give an offense coordinator job because that's all he's ever done. And so that's why A&M's not a top 10 team when they have the talent to be. Their offense is limited.
Right.
I think Miami, though, bright future. I'm not going to bash you for this loss. That's a tough place to play. You got a bright future. Cristobal's got the thing rolling down there, and they're going to be decent in the next few years.
I expected them to be pretty good this year,
Yeah.
I know, but this is not a game. Like, if you would have told me coming in, I probably wouldn't have taken them. I was really taking them expecting A&M to be worse.
Right.
Not a team, not Miami play better, just A&M play worse.
Right. I always pick them.
Yeah. They won the game, but like this is coming into the year, this is how I would have expected it to go. Like pretty close, but A&M take it.
I agree. I wouldn't have predicted it to be as a low scoring game as it was, but I mean, it is what it is. We'll see how these two teams fare. Miami plays it. I mean, it looks like Miami's going to play a lot tougher schedule than we think they are right now. And they do get the crossover against Clemson this year, so that is tougher. And so it may not be an amazing year for them this year, but I think Cristobal can get that thing going because we've seen him do it at Oregon. We've seen him do it. I mean, he's a great coach, and I think Miami's got a brighter future, way brighter future than A&M.
Right.
Pittsburgh goes to Western Michigan. A lot of people thought this was a trap game. Pittsburgh pulled out the W. They won 34-13. It wasn't really a close game at all, though. I mean, they kind of led the whole game, and Western Michigan didn't really put up much of a fight as I thought they would.
Wait, who thought this would have been a trap game?
Who thought it was a trap game?
You thought it was?
Everybody thought it was. That's why I put it on there. I've seen them be on upset alert. I don't know why, but they are.
Who was Pitt's quarterback?
Patty, I think. Let me look.
Because I see a different guy in the box.
No, that's Yarnell. I don't even know who that is.
They're on a third-string quarterback.
And you're losing to him?
I mean, they did run 31 times.
Yeah, that's probably.
At least with one guy. That's just with one guy.
Yeah.
I mean, good for Pittsburgh. The fact that they blew him out with a third-string quarterback, they need their guy back. They need Slovis back if they want to be ranked.
With Slovis back, I think they're a lot better than we give them credit for, and I think they beat Tennessee last week.
No, I think the defense is kind of what I expected. I knew that week 1 against West Virginia was kind of odd. I didn't expect them to score that much, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. I'm excited to see where they go. It's good that they only have that one loss. If they can get Slovis back with that one loss and they can win the Coastal and upset whoever's in that because it's either going to be NC State or Clemson or Wake in the ACC championship. And if they can beat them, I mean, they'd be 12-1, but I don't know that they could do that without Slovis.
I don't trust this team like that. Not
No,
yet.
me neither. Michigan State goes on the road to Washington and gets absolutely – they get their pants pulled down, man. They get embarrassed. And I can't say I didn't see this coming. And I know it looks like closer than it was, but it was not 39-28 the whole game.
You picked Washington.
I picked Washington. I just seen a lot. I've done a lot of research on this game, and I've seen a lot of Michigan State worrying about, for whatever reason, I've seen headlines. They're worried about the time zone. They're worried about how much they sleep on the fly, all kinds of stupid stuff. So I was like, if you're worrying about that, you got another thing coming.
You got to worry about the football team ahead of you because Washington, I'll give Washington their props. You remember earlier in the year, I was like, Washington.
Michael Penix.
Michael Penix went off.
He is disgusting, dude.
Polk is a freshman, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not wrong.
He was nasty.
3 TDs. You want to talk about performer of the week guy? That might be your guy.
That might be your guy.
So
to that, but this game, Michigan State scored 14 in the fourth quarter, but before that, it was 39-14. This game was not close. I mean, Washington was up 29-8 at one time. I mean, they were blowing them out from the get-go. And I can't say I didn't call it because I did. And I feel like Washington's not an amazing football team, but I think they give people trouble, especially at home. That's a tough place to play. I don't know why, but it is. And anyway, I mean, they pulled out the victory over Michigan State. I think Michigan State team's more of a fraud than we thought they were, solely because the quarterback play is just not there. Peyton Thorne is just not your guy.
Recapping the AP poll too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I got something to say about Washington in that regard.
They're not ranked, are they?
No, they are.
Oh, okay.
This way they're ranked.
That Washington offense, I saw a lot of great things out of. And I think if they can play like that, they can compete with USC because USC's offense is like that. Hot take.
Right.
That is a preview to the Pac-12 championship, by the way. Just going to throw that out there. Texas Tech went to NC State. I felt like this could be a trap game for NC State, and they were not impressive. I watched the game, highlights of the game, and they scored on 2 different trick plays, and that was their 2 touchdowns, and a pick 6, and that was about it. And they kicked 2 field goals. So, offense, Devin Leary was picked to be the preseason ACC Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
He has been very underwhelming to this point, to me. He's a great quarterback. I'm not knocking him whatsoever. But he's thrown for 600 yards in 3 games, and I get that's not bad. But, I mean, when 238 of them have been against Charleston Southern.
I was going to say.
It's kind of
the FCS opponent, and the other one is East Carolina.
And then you don't even put up – like, he didn't put up any numbers, and it's Texas Tech. We know how bad that defense can be. We know how bad – how many points they give up every season.
They're a shootout type of team. That's the environment they thrive in. So I guess give them props because
the defense.
They got them out of that. They didn't have to go to a shootout where Texas Tech would be more comfortable. And
maybe I will give them some props and say maybe that was their game plan, was to just run the ball and keep the ball away from that Tech offense because they're explosive at times.
Mm-hmm.
And so it can be sort of – and at this point, they're probably trying to not – they're probably trying to not make the mistake as good as their defense has been. And I can see that. There's many – like my Clemson, they're doing that. They're playing offense to not make a mistake so that defense can play.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen a lot of teams doing that, and I think that's a good game plan until – there's going to be a time that you're going to have to – let them hang and go at all in.
Yes, sometimes the defense is not going to hold a Texas Tech offense to 4. If they're not at home, I think this game looks a lot different.
I think it does too. If they go to Lou Block, they probably don't win this game, in my opinion. And if Texas Tech doesn't if Texas Tech doesn't throw 3 interceptions, I think you see a different game too. Because they drove the ball a lot. They just made a lot of mistakes. NC State did hurt themselves too, though. They fumbled a ball going. He was walking into the end zone and dropped it. He wasn't doing it on purpose. He just dropped it. There was nobody near him. But anyway, it was a touchback. So they did hurt themselves too. Both sides really killed themselves. There was not really any. It was a big time environment for NC State, and they played decent enough to win. So that's a good win for them because I think Texas Tech is going to be all right this year.
Yeah.
But, NC State's off to 3-0. It's been a shaky 3-0, but they're there, and they're ranked 12th now. So
they are.
Penn State, they go to Auburn. And the Nittany Lions, a lot of props to them for going on the road to Auburn and embarrassing the Auburn War Eagle Tigers.
You picked Auburn here, remember?
I did, because I did not know how good that Penn State offense would look. But I'm going to tell you something. That Auburn team is as bad as I've seen Auburn in a long time.
I was going to say, this wasn't – don't get me wrong. Penn State was just chunk play after chunk play. But Auburn putting up 12 points.
Oh, I know. I would tell you,
Auburn is used to scoring and not stopping anybody, I feel like.
Yeah. Auburn, they were upsetting. And I think you're going to see a long season this year because it's going to be bad.
I don't know whether to give more props to Penn State or to just destroy Auburn like that.
Well, I'm going to destroy Auburn because I watched the game, and that offense is the worst in college football. There's no competition. TJ Finley, I watched him throw a pass trying to get away from a sack instead of just taking the sack. I watched him try to let go of a pass. He threw it about 5 yards to a Penn State guy. Just take the sack, man. You're trying to play not to lose right here. You can't turn the ball over. And they turned the ball over. He wound up getting taken out for another guy.
Wow.
It was embarrassing for Auburn to lose like that at home. And I'm sorry, but if you're an Auburn fan, I feel bad for you this season. It's going to be rough. Because you still got that gauntlet of Arkansas, Alabama, like we just talked about with A&M. You got A&M too, and you're bad. So, it's going to be rough for you this year. I'm sorry. Go ahead and just get ready for it next year, probably.
Do they lose this week to Missouri?
Do what?
Do they? Oh, we'll pick that. We'll pick that game, probably.
We'll pick that game, yeah. Because they're both bad. BYU at Oregon. This was, I know I picked BYU, but I was feeling Oregon just because it was at Oregon, and I feel like.
I picked Oregon?
Huh?
I picked Oregon?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I felt like Oregon would get this done, though. I picked BYU.
Whoa. Did I not pick BYU?
No, you didn't, because on the stream, I said, I want to go Oregon here, but I feel like I should be safe and go BYU because Oregon's inconsistent. And they were consistent today.
And what did I say?
You said I'm going Oregon, and I said I knew you were going to do that.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, here's my thought. I was expecting BYU to win, if I'm honest. But Oregon at home, BYU. I don't know. BYU away from home. It's scary. So
it is, and Oregon's a tough place to play, no matter who you are. So, I really think – I don't think there's no way to – I don't know how to react to this game because, Bo Nix played good. He did. But I think that's the type of quarterback Bo Nix is, and that's the type of quarterback we've seen him be. He can play against the BYUs and, the lesser – not lesser teams, but,
the lesser of the
top 25. He can play against the 8-4, 9-3 teams. He can be great against them. But when it comes to 10-2, 11-1, and 12-0 teams,
the guy had 5 touchdowns.
He did, and 3 of them were rushing. So props to him. He played great. I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but This was a weird one to me, but I feel like Oregon at home really helped that.
To be fair, BYU was missing their top 2 pass catchers.
They were, and the quarterback still threw for 305.
He did, yeah. No, I think BYU. This is not a bad loss.
I don't think any voter would look at this and call it a bad loss.
The fact that it was 38-7 at one point is kind of concerning. But you get your guys healthy. I think this is just a kind of a watch game.
It is. 41-20 was the final there. And next was Georgia, went to South Carolina and absolutely smoked the Cox. It was not close at all at any point in the game. The closest South Carolina had was they were down 7-0 and they were driving into the end zone and threw an interception. That was it. That was the end of the game then. And Georgia rolled on. The offense looked good. They pulled a lot of trick plays out, which is kind of weird. But I guess they were just trying to
South Carolina.
They were just having fun. The defense was just as good. Gave up a garbage time touchdown for the first touchdown they give up this year. I will say that Georgia looked their passing game looks great. But one thing I am concerned about is the run game. Why can't they get that going? Are they not trying to get it going? Or are they holding it back? I'm not real sure.
I mean, I would say we got it going. We ran for 6 yards per carry. It's just they didn't run a lot.
They haven't been, but that's what worries me. I don't know if they're trying to wait on that or if they don't trust the backs. Because, there's going to be a point in the time the year they're going to have to run the ball. And
I don't know. There might not be. I mean, the passing offense has looked, seamless.
Yes, it has. I'm sorry. With this stupid dinging. Yeah, it has looked great, but I think I really do think there's going to be a time. Well, the schedule's got a lot weaker with Florida looking the way they had the last 2 weeks. Tennessee's probably the toughest test on their schedule, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. And maybe they have to run the ball against him, but probably not.
Saw a TikTok of a guy ranking SEC quarterbacks. He had Bryce Young number 1, and he had Hendon Hooker number 2.
I don't agree with that.
Over Stetson Bennett, which I thought was interesting.
As far as all around talent, like both being able to, I mean, I'm not saying Stetson can't run. I don't know what to tell you. It's week 3. That's all I can say.
Okay.
I can't rank him yet. I think Stetson's the better quarterback right now. He's the more experienced. He's won bigger games. I haven't seen Hendon Hooker do anything because I haven't watched him.
Yeah, he hasn't been in a prime time situation.
Right. And I don't think he's a great quarterback.
I was at Virginia Tech and now he's at Tennessee. None of those teams are on top of, or at least to a pedigree of where Georgia's at. So
right. Yeah, I don't know how to rank those two, but I mean I know Stetson's better. I'd rather have Stetson right now. But Florida State Friday night went to Louisville, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you this Florida State team is not bad. They went on the road, lost their quarterback in the middle of the game, and beat Louisville 35-31. That ain't easy.
No, that's tough. I did not. After I saw that they lost Jordan Travis, I thought they were going to get killed.
Right. And straight up, I mean, they won that game, and they're 3-0 right now. And the city of Tallahassee is going to get behind this team. And this team, I mean, they're not going to be no insane team. I'm not saying that. I think they're a good football team, and I think they will win 7-8 games, possibly. It's according to how the rest of the ACC shakes up. But, yeah, I don't think they're ranked yet, which is kind of weird because that's kind of weird to me because –
2 decent teams.
Right.
And then Duquesne.
Well, their LSU win looks great now, as we're about to get into that. Or not great, but it looks better.
It does look better, yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be fun to watch what this Florida State team can do because as long as Travis, I think he'll be back. I don't know what happened to him, but I don't think he's out for a length. I haven't heard that he's out for a length amount of time. But I mean, like I say, they do have to. They're in the Atlantic of the ACC, so they do have to play Clemson, Wake, and NC State. I do think they win one of those games. I'm gonna be honest.
Like one of the upset ones.
Huh?
One of like the upset games.
I think they beat either Clemson, NC State, or Wake this year. If I had to pick out of any of them, it'd probably be NC State because they're worse off. I mean, they're I don't know, maybe Wake because Wake can't really stop a soul.
I didn't see, but not only did they lose Jordan Travis, they lost their best defensive guy also, Jared Verse, who was a transfer from Albany. He had 3 sacks in the first 2 games, and he was also injured. So they won with a backup D lineman also. So
that's impressive. That's a great win. I think that even though it was a 4-point win, I think that's a phenomenal win, especially
did it on the road either
for Norvell. He's got it going down there, and I'm proud for him. Purdue went to the Orange. The Orange put on a show. No, that's not the headline here. Purdue goes to Syracuse and loses.
Wait, you picked Syracuse?
Yeah, I picked Syracuse.
Good pick.
This game was 9-3 after the third quarter. The final was 32-29. This fourth quarter was insane. If you haven't watched the highlights, you need to go watch them. Syracuse took a play, and they scored on a big play. And it made it – I don't know what it made it. It made it 18-15, something stupid like that. The next play, O'Connell drops back and is getting sacked and tries to throw the ball, and it lands in the D-line's chest, and he grabs it and takes it for a pick six, makes it 25-15. Purdue, somehow not down and out, scores the next 2 drives, bang, bang, goes up 29-25, and on the last drive, Garrett Strader throws up a corner route to hit the Syracuse receiver in the end zone, and they score a win. I mean, it was insane. If you didn't watch this fourth quarter, what?
They should have lost. Syracuse?
They should have lost because they had plenty of chances to run away with that game, and they didn't.
Right. I haven't seen it, though, no. I have to check it out.
You'll have to check that one out. That was a great game. I'm sorry for not updating, but on the Florida State-Louisville, I picked Louisville. Darren picked Florida State. We both picked Syracuse.
Yep.
At home. Old Dominion went to Virginia, and this was embarrassing for Virginia. Even though they won the game, they won this game 16-14 on a last-second field goal.
We knew it would be close, though. Remember?
Hey, I'm not going to knock anybody because I told everybody to watch out for Old Dominion all preseason, and you wanted to tell me, bro, who's even on Old Dominion? I don't know who's on them, but they got whatever juice it is to upset teams. And they beat Virginia Tech, and they almost took down the whole state of Virginia this week.
They almost did.
If they won, when you see them college football maps,
if they won, I would have had to transfer.
You would have.
I'd have to be a what's the mascot?
A monarch.
I would have had to be a monarch.
You would have to.
No more.
If you see the college football, they have maps of the best teams in every state. If they win this week, you have little Old Dominion covering Virginia.
That's right. The crazy part is I'm from there, and I don't even know where Old Dominion is. I don't know.
It's got to be near you.
Does it? Let's see. Yeah, you can get to the next game. Okay, it's in Norfolk.
Norfolk. We talked about that the other day.
It's not near me. Not really.
Cal goes to Notre Dame. I picked Cal in this one. Notre Dame, last second. Last few minutes.
Disrespecting Notre Dame. How dare you?
I mean, they were down the whole game. Literally. They were down the whole game to Cal. Good win for them though. They deserved it. They needed one after all this. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. I have no words about this game.
Nothing?
No.
Okay. I mean, again, I don't really think we need to spend much time. Notre Dame, we killed them last week. So I think they got their win. Let's just let them give them the week.
Congrats, Fighting Irish. You are no longer 0-2. You're 1-2. Vandy goes to Northern Illinois and beats their over or under total for the year. They beat Northern Illinois.
You got some apologizing to do to Vandy fans, the Commodores.
Okay, here it is. My biggest apologies. Vanderbilt, I'm sorry for ever doubting your ability to win on the road. And I feel bad for picking against you, especially against a group of 5 team. But P.S. I feel even worse that you're about to have to play 8 SEC games.
Hey,
goodbye.
New quarterback, freshman quarterback, threw for 255 and 4 TDs.
Yeah, let me just look at their schedule and let me tell you. Oh my God!
Oh my God! I see it too.
I'm sorry. You guys can enjoy Northern Illinois as long as you can, man. Your 2 crossover games are Ole Miss and Alabama. Bang bang.
Back to back.
You play Alabama, Ole Miss, and Georgia back to back to back. Yeah, enjoy Northern Illinois. You deserve it, man.
Hey, I'll give them props. They might beat South Carolina.
And they might beat Missouri, but I feel like they may be so down after these next 3 games, they may not.
As long as they stay healthy, I might pick them against South Carolina. I don't know about Missouri just because it's on the road, but Missouri's awful too. So,
hey, hear me out. This may be crazy, but they have a chance to upset that Florida team because they have a good offense.
I'm not going to lie. Overall, this has been a great season for Vanderbilt.
Hey,
I'm not going to lie. They could lose out, and I'd still say they overperform.
Yeah, if they win one more game, they will exceed expectations.
All I need them to do is put up a fight in a couple of these, and I'll give them the props.
Me too. Congrats, Vandy. You're Harvard of the South, and you have 3 football wins this year. If you could just win an SEC game, this season would be set for you. Congrats, man.
They're getting better. They might get some decent recruits after this.
I wouldn't go that far. Georgia Southern goes to Alabama Birmingham, the Blazers, UAB, and they get beat 35-21. Not much to talk about here. Georgia Southern, after an upset win at Nebraska, kind of hung over a little bit, gets pretty much handled. It wasn't ever close.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really understand why you picked Southern in this game, because UAB at home is like a different beast, really.
Well, I told you that I trusted the Georgia Southern offense, and UAB lost to Liberty last week.
They did.
Now that we're seeing Liberty, though, against Wake Forest this past weekend, I think we can all say Liberty's not as bad without Malik Willis as we thought they'd be.
But the thing is confusing is didn't Liberty lose, or they went to double overtime with some like D2 school?
I think they did, yeah.
Like that's why it's just like Liberty is so strange. Or Southern Miss, sorry. Southern Miss is not D2. They basically are, and it was 4 overtimes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Southern Miss is basically a D2 school. Come on now.
I mean,
they played with Miami for a half.
And then they lost by 23.
They did do that. But I want to talk about the next game more.
Okay.
Kansas goes on the road to Houston. You said, why would you even put this game on the scorecard? Kansas's
You
offense.
picked Houston too.
I picked Houston because I want them to be good because they're my conference champ and they're embarrassing me. Kansas offense is apparently the greatest offense we've ever seen.
Number one scoring offense.
3-0. They've already beat the over-under total. They said, "Give me your over-under, and I will defeat it." Les Miles has got something rolling down there. They're going to compete this year. That offense is good enough to compete with Big 12 teams.
Here's my thing. How were they not ranked?
They're 26 is what somebody
They
said.
have better wins than Florida State, to me.
They have better wins than – I mean, Florida's ranked, and they almost lost to South Florida.
Are we? Wait. Are we overhyping Houston, though? Are we?
We will see. It feels like we are.
This is hard to tell because this is 3 games in a row with Houston.
Houston won the first game in 4 overtimes, and they've lost the next 2. I'd like to say one thing. Kansas. Let me find.
Also, just a interesting stat. I never would have thought a team could be this bad, but put up 30 points in 3 games, or like at least 30 in 3 games. And I mean Houston.
Yeah, I know. I would like to say that this Kansas game, you would look at this and say, wow, they beat Houston on the road. They didn't just beat Houston on the road. They smoked Houston on the road. This game was never really close either. Their offense came out the gates flying around, dominating them, and they won 48-30.
I played Jalen Daniels, the quarterback, and he performed. Dude had 5 TDs, ran for over 100 on the ground, threw for 3 touchdowns through the air.
Speaking of Daniels, Jaden Daniels, next game we're going to talk about, beats Mississippi State.
Was this on the road?
No, this was at home. 31-16. Now, this game was very, very –
Oh, we both picked Mississippi State too. Wow.
I mean, I thought that offense was too good to lose to LSU, but I was wrong. I was really wrong.
Looking back, I feel like one of us should have picked LSU just because, like, why wouldn't we?
Because they stink.
Nah. And they were down.
I
They
saw
were
that.
13 at one point.
Yeah, they got down.
And then they gave up. They continued after 13-0. It was 3-31. Wow.
That's impressive. UCF embarrasses FAU at FAU. UTSA goes to Texas, and they get beat.
Okay, here's my defense. They said Bijan Robinson wasn't playing, and he did play.
See, that's the
And the Hudson Card, they said he wasn't going to play, and he did play. So I said, you remember what I said? I said, if the starting running back and the second string quarterback is out, UTS then get. I wanted to pick Texas. You remember this? I almost did, but
well.
I'm assuming this on the beat writers. I'm not taking that loss. So
Okay, here's what I will say. Last night I was looking at the pick'em, and it said that you picked Texas, so I felt like you picked UTSA, so I went back and watched the stream. And had you not said this, I would have left it at Texas. You said, give me UTSA. If you would have said Bijan Robinson, if they don't play, give me UTSA, or if they don't play, I'll take Texas, or whatever. But you said, give me UTSA, and that was the –
right. No, I'm not saying that what I said was I took Texas, or I took UTSA to win.
Right.
Because I expected the 2 guys to be out, but they both played.
Right, and I can agree to that. I had
if they were in, I would have picked Texas, which
I would have picked Texas too.
It happens, bad reporting. We don't know.
So, yeah, I don't want to get in too much to next week because we have an episode on Wednesday for that. But I would like to tell you one thing that's coming up this week that I am, for some reason, excited about. 3-0 Kansas, 3-0 Duke clash this week.
Oh, do they?
They do. And no, this is not the Champions Tournament in basketball every year. This is a football game.
Wow. When's the last time they were both 3-0? Probably never, right?
I have no idea, but I will tell you that last weekend, week 2, was the first time that North Carolina, Kentucky, Kansas, and Duke all went on the road at the same time in college football history. You got to think, in the history of college football.
It's been around for about
150 years.
150?
Duke goes to Kansas. Spoiler alert, Kansas is about to tear them up.
I was going to say, I'd probably just take Kansas there.
I don't know. Riley Leonard against Kansas defense won't be – I mean, he won't struggle there, but I think Kansas will score too much.
Who scheduled this game?
I have no idea.
This is what I'm saying with the scheduling, not only in the NFL, college football too now. How do they know? It's like it has to be rigged in some way. Because I'm going to be so real. Nobody is going to this game before they're both 3-0. Like, nobody's going to this. The stands will be half filled.
I could see that. Hey, send College Game Day there. Why not?
And here's the other thing that pisses me off. How are they both undefeated and neither are ranked? What are we doing?
Put them both. Make this a top 25 matchup.
No, we got to get into the AP poll quickly because
we're getting into it quickly.
Oh, frustrating.
This is frustrating. There's a lot of we're gonna go deep on the AP poll today. We're fixing to get on the AP poll.
I'm about to eviscerate the AP poll because this is not right.
This is not right, and this is embarrassing.
Duke's not even receiving votes.
See, that is
wrong. I don't think Duke. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Duke should be ranked either. They are probably the weakest 3-0 team, just because their wins are they're not beating anybody great. But I mean, it's just a kind of unexpected.
Okay, I'm gonna run through it real quick, and after that, I got the first team I'm gonna go after. Yeah, I've already got it, and I'm ready to roll. So we'll just run through this fast. 25th.
Gonna be, but I think I know who you're gonna get on. But go ahead.
You do. 25, Miami. 24, Pittsburgh. 23, A&M. 22, Texas. 21, Wake Forest. 20, Florida. 19, BYU. 18, Washington. 17, Baylor. 16, Ole Miss. 15, Oregon. 14, Penn State. 13, Utah. 12, North Carolina State. 11, Tennessee. 10, Arkansas. 9, Oklahoma State. 8, Kentucky. 7, USC. 6, Oklahoma. 5, Clemson. 4, Michigan State. 3, Ohio State. Michigan. Sorry, not Michigan State. 4 is Michigan. 3 is Ohio State. 2 is Alabama. 1 is Georgia. The top 10s, for the most part, is pretty good. Number 20, Florida. I don't have a care in the world for them beating Utah. That game means nothing to me. They beat them at home. Utah is 23 hours away from them. Had to fly that far, play them in the swamp. They don't ever play in environments like that. They win that game. Fine. You lose to Kentucky the next week, and you battle South Florida to the last minute.
They've had 3 home games.
3 home games. South Florida missed the field goal to lose the game.
3 home games.
Why are they ranked 20th? South Florida almost beat them. If you get embarrassed by Kentucky and you almost lose to South Florida, you got to get out of the rankings. I'm sorry, you're not that good. I didn't want to overreact to them, and I did.
Here's what I don't understand. So South Florida played BYU, right? Let's use process of whatever. They lost to BYU 21-50 at home. That don't really matter, but still, they lost 21-50. Now, BYU just played Oregon, correct? Oregon handled BYU. So how was Oregon only 5 spots ahead of BYU or Florida? And now I'm not saying, and also they have BYU only 1 ahead of Florida.
Okay, yeah. Here's one thing. Florida should not be ranked. That's what's messing up
should be.
everything. They should be.
They're
You have a better
right.
Kansas team. Kansas is better.
I would even go as far as to say Michigan State is better. Florida State is better.
Yes. Syracuse is better, probably.
Arguably, App State is better.
They won out.
North Carolina.
North Carolina, where are they at?
Now, all these teams are receiving votes, but still. And by the way, Syracuse is only receiving 7 votes.
That's kind of sad to me. I know they only beat Purdue by 3 at home. Purdue's not a bad squad. They almost got Penn State.
Wait, did I miss something? Who did Washington State beat last week? Because how are they?
Wisconsin.
That was last week?
Yeah. They're 3-0 and they're not ranked.
Play? Wait, what?
They won week 3. They beat some small school 38-10 or something like that.
Colorado State.
38-7. Yeah. Washington State, why are they not ranked? They beat Wisconsin on the road.
They could be ranked. They could definitely be ranked.
Now, I know there's not room for all these teams. We get that. But when you have a team like Florida in the top 25, that's when I get a little shaky on this AP poll.
Yeah, it's the teams that have losses. Like, I'm not gonna lie, BYU should be lower.
Or if you have a loss,
I mean, if we're going on pedigree, Wake Forest shouldn't be ranked.
Right.
Off their wins. Texas, I'm cool with. I'm not gonna lie, Texas, I'm cool with because they won with backups, and they almost beat the number 1 team. They're fine. A&M, I'm not gonna lie, A&M should not be ranked.
Neither should Miami or Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh should not be ranked. I think Pittsburgh's good, but they should not be ranked.
There's too many 3-0 teams to have this many one-loss teams. Utah, I'm sorry, you should not be number 13.
Baylor should not be number 17.
Baylor shouldn't be 17. Oregon, in the grand scheme of things, if we're going to talk about how many 3-0 teams are, Oregon, with that loss, as bad as they lost to Georgia, should probably not be ranked either. The BYU helps them. They should probably be about 22nd. But
yeah, I agree.
But I don't think they should be 15. I think there's a lot of different things that people – and I'm not going to get too far into bashing anyone else, but Tennessee at 11 feels a little high for me. They beat a Pittsburgh team without a quarterback in the second half.
That's their only win, really.
That's their only win. They beat Akron.
We'll see how they are next week against Florida.
We will, and they're going to win that game because Florida's just – we've seen them. Florida's not as good. And they go on the road to not.
To be honest, I think Penn State at 14 is high.
I think that's high too.
They beat Purdue.
Well, it's like they beat Auburn on the road, so that people went crazy. Like, I don't think that's an amazing win.
I think they're good, but they should be around 20, 22, 23.
Right. I will say that that the AP poll took the A&M win this past weekend just like we did. Not impressive. Because they didn't move a spot.
They moved up 1.
Moved up 1, excuse me.
They moved up 1.
They didn't feel they were impressive at all. And I agree.
Good. I mean, good.
I know Kentucky's number 8, but I don't feel – the win at Florida is good, but I don't know that they're that high. I think Oklahoma State's better.
They're too high. Oklahoma State.
They're better. Their offense is
they should be.
I think –
I don't know. It seems like there's a divide between like USC and then everybody under that.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the top 7 is really good. Really good. They either have really good offenses or really good. They're really good teams, is what I feel like. They can be.
They are.
Some of them, but I feel like right now Clemson's not playing like they're probably Clemson's 7. They're not playing better than USC or Oklahoma right now. I feel like they will eventually. They have some kinks to work out, man. They're young. But they will. They're not playing like number 5 team. They're probably the number 7 team in the country. And then USC. What?
Remember when we said we never thought Michigan would score 50 points in a game?
Yeah, they scored in every game. I know. But look at their – if we're being honest –
I don't care.
No, I'm not talking about that. No, what I'm saying, if we're being honest, I saw somebody say the other day, why is no one bashing Michigan for their strength of schedule. They're playing UConn, Hawaii, and Colorado.
If we're on strength of schedule, Michigan shouldn't be ranked.
They shouldn't be ranked fourth. They've literally played an embarrassing home schedule so far.
I mean, so is Clemson.
But they played a conference opponent. You can't help that. They have to play them.
That's true. But Furman
Michigan hasn't even played a. Yeah, everybody plays two of those. Furman would beat UConn. I'd believe that.
Georgia doesn't play two of those.
They do at the end of the year, don't they?
Georgia Tech? Is that what you're talking about? I mean, Kent State. Are you talking about Kent State?
Well, yeah, Kent State and Sanford.
Furman.
That's what I'm saying. Kent State and Sanford. Clemson
Kent
played.
State is way better than Furman. You could put
Kent State. I'm comparing Kent State to Louisiana Tech and Sanford to Furman.
Oh, okay.
That's the same.
All right. You're right.
Oh my God, I'm finna lose my mind. But yeah, I think, and in Alabama, like they play Utah State and Louisiana Monroe. I'm not comparing them to Furman. I'm just saying they're all.
And they play Austin Peay.
And they play Austin Peay. That's what I'm saying. They got 3 of those.
Wait, Austin Peay is their quarterback is amazing.
Is he?
I mean, they're 3-1.
Hey,
they put up their quarterback's touchdown to pick ratio is 13-2. Mike DiLiello from he's at Buffalo, huh? Oh, Middle Tennessee, right? Sorry.
Yeah, let's get into our performers of the week.
Yeah, I already have mine.
Okay, yeah. I don't want to. Or we're just gonna do it with one this week because I feel like you can find one this week.
There's one. Yeah, there's one specific guy I got.
Okay, go for it.
Sorry, I'm just gonna pull up his stats really quick, just so I'm not an idiot. Oh yeah, it's the.
Hang on, you just so the stream knows. We are the way we do our performers of the week. You have to win, and it can be any position. We have not picked the defensive player yet. It's usually offensive because that's all the stats we really can pick up from ESPN.
Yeah, defensive stats are so sorry for that. Defensive stats are just spotty.
They are spotty, and I feel like you can't really have a defensive player of the week until it's later in the season and big time matchups like Alabama and Ole Miss. Like
the game I picked, unless a guy goes for like 3 picks, like 2 touchdowns, like I'm probably not going to pick a defensive player. I just feel like I'm not going to lie. I feel like offense is way more important, especially in college. It is.
Right. So like I said, the way we do this is you have to win the game. That's your first criteria, and obviously if you play a Power 5 team, it outweighs if you play a FCS or a Group of 5 team, and then if you play a conference opponent. So you know how that goes. So go ahead.
So it's actually sorry. I have Dwayne McBride from UAB.
Okay.
28 carries, 223 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
Nice.
I don't know. Have we seen a guy run for 220 yards yet?
I don't think not in my memory. We haven't. No.
Like the guy has 400 yards in 2 games.
That is impressive.
Early season Heisman, bro. I don't care. Early season Heisman.
Holy smokes!
I mean, who else has 400 rushing yards in 2 weeks?
Not me. I don't know who. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go ahead with mine, and I don't think it's hard for me to go anywhere else with this solely because this was such a big time win. Michael Penix Jr. 24 of 40. 397 yards, 4 tutties, the big home win against the number 11 ranked Michigan State Spartans.
I like that.
I don't know where else I could have gone with that. He was amazing. He is an early Heisman candidate.
Definitely. No, he actually is.
for sure. Is that I'm reading their box score? Sorry, not trying to take anything away from Penix, but Talia Papa, that's the boy from Virginia, right?
It is.
Okay, gotcha. Boy went across the whole country. Good gosh. I mean, from
Let's win.
he wants to win, and he is doing it. 3-0 Washington, ranked 18th behind this explosive offense. But I'm excited to see Penix. I want to see what he can do against some teams. Let me look at Washington's schedule. No, I don't want to look at the Washington Commanders football schedule. Come on, man.
Or
They play. They don't. I mean, the Pac-12 is the Pac-12, and that, I mean, their biggest game on their schedule is Oregon. Hot take.
they could beat Oregon.
No, hot take. They can go 12-0 with that schedule. Look at that schedule. Just look at it for me. Look at it for me. They don't play USC. Look at it.
Yeah.
Oregon State's going to give them some trouble.
I mean, they could. It's possible. But here's the thing. I don't think they will.
I don't think so either.
Because injuries happen. Teams get complacent.
They do. And I'm not saying that they will. You can't predict anyone to go 12-0. Like, you just can't. I mean, it's kind of hard to predict anyone because anybody could lose any given week.
Right.
And I'm going to say that they probably drop a game that they shouldn't, which could be to Oregon State or Oregon. That's probably the most likely. But
I would say Oregon. I didn't know the Oregon game was on the road, but they could win that.
I think that's a pretty even series usually when they play each other. But I will say that big matchup coming up, USC goes to Oregon State this week. The Beavers have a chance to prove themselves.
I would still take USC.
I would take USC too because it's smart. But I'm saying the Beavers have a chance to prove they're real if they can compete in this game.
They're receiving votes. If they win, they're top 15.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe top 10.
As crazy as these AP poll voters are, they'll put them ranked first in the country after a win like that. They'll be like, oh, I really like the Beavers this year.
It's always got to be Georgia or Alabama. No one else.
Hot take. What if they lose? Oh, Ohio State doesn't deserve a one spot?
It'll be Michigan before them.
Wow. You're going to make some people mad today.
Because Michigan can score 50 points.
My boy Damien is not going to like that.
No, that's not a knock on Ohio State.
Ohio State scored 77 on poor little Toledo.
Didn't Toledo almost score like 30-something though?
Scored 21.
That's pretty good.
It's not bad. I mean, great week of college football. Week in and week out, it produces games and it produces entertainment week in and week out. There's nothing better in the world to watch. Keep watching it because it's only going to get better. I'm going to keep losing money because that's what I do. I have not won a bet.
I did not lose money.
I have not won a bet since Monday Night Football of the Broncos and Seahawks.
Ooh, that's a while.
That is a long time. It is bad in the bank account of Underdog Fantasy. If you're looking for somewhere to bet, do not listen to me. Probably don't listen to Darren.
Don't listen to me.
Don't listen to anyone online because I've done that. Just go with the gut. Huh?
They just want your views.
They just want your views. Just go with your gut if you're going to bet. I'm not promoting gambling because if you want money, don't gamble.
No, don't gamble. Unless you are financially secure or you have a constant income, don't gamble.
I want to say something that's pretty dumb. A Georgia fan betted $209,000 on the Georgia South Carolina game that they would win, and he paid out only $5,000 more.
But here's the thing: it's a guaranteed win.
It is,
That's
but
$5K.
I guess
That's like picking Alabama against UL Monroe.
What if something stupid happens though, and you lose $209,000?
He's probably got quadruple that.
He probably does. I mean, can't knock him. I think Wednesday we're going to debut a new segment into the show. Our personal top 25. Darren's going to have his ready. I'm going to have mine ready. That's our new segment that will we're going to do it on Wednesday this week, but that'll probably be on Monday since everything gets done, and it'll add to our Monday recap show.
Right.
So get ready for that. We're going to have our pick'em again. Darren update. Darren is winning 52-27 in the poll or in the pick'em, and I am 49 and
30.
49 and 30. So, and I have a goal tracker on the spreadsheet or on the document. Darren is going for 75%, and you are at 65%.
If I keep that pace up, what is 12 and 5? 12 out of 17. That's not quite 70 though, is it?
It's not. But here's one thing I will say. I figured it up last night. I
gotta get better.
21 more games will get us to 100 games picked this year.
Already?
If you win all 27 games, you will be at 73%.
Ugh. I'm not getting it.
Hey, never give up. Nothing's impossible. Don't let Darren down you.
Like a couple, like just crazy weeks, and then solid the rest. I could, but like
it's a reach, but it could happen. Watch Monday Night Football tonight. Eagles and Vikings and Titans and Bills play. NFL wise. Come back Wednesday. We have NFL coming out, MLB, and we will have a college football show itself. And that's all from me, Mr. Bragg. That's it.
Yes.
It's all from him. He does not care to say bye to anyone. I'm going to say goodbye to Vanderbilt. Thank you for your contributions on making me lose, and I'm sorry for not picking you.
I'm going to say goodbye to Georgia Southern. I know y'all watching.
Wow. Wow. Follow us on social, Out of Bounds Pods. Thank you for watching. Nobody's up.